Okay, welcome to my review of the Prologic Tri Sky rod pod. This is the 3-rod model. They also do it in a 4-rod, but 3 was enough for my needs. Right, straight off, you can see how big this is. This is 1 unit of a pod. The case is probably nearly 1 metre long itself. You can see there how high it stands. Pretty well constructed. The zips probably could be a little bit better, but bearing in mind this is a case that's going to last you hopefully for the lifetime of the pod. It's not something you're going to be able to replace purely because of the size of it. So looking at the contents, first thing you've got is the base unit. There's 4 legs already attached to the base unit. They're all of the same length. They are fully removable. All you need to do is unscrew them, and you can alter the height of the pod with that. You also get in here 2 extra long bank sticks if you want to fish your rods high at the front, or even just to get over some marginal reeds or snags. These come with a handy little protection on the prong on the front. I suggest you keep hold of these because these are very sharp, and with them being the full length of your bag, if you don't put them back on every time, they will poke through the sides of your bag after time. So there's 2 of those. You get 2 sets of buzzer bars, front and the back. They're actually offset. Don't know if you can see that. So I've actually put the narrower bar at the back and the wider bar at the front. You can see I've already put my Delkins on because I've been using it. Obviously they don't come with that. I've got the snag ears, and I've also got the attachment for the bobbins, and on the back I've got some butt rests. They do not come with the pod. The pod just comes as 2 bars. The pod construction itself and the bars, they're kind of a triangular construction. I think that's going to help with no twist. Sometimes these come loose and they can twist. Where your bank sticks attach, in the 4 positions on the 2 bars, you get these handy little caps. It's worth keeping them in your pocket when you're fishing and making sure they go back on in the end, because the edges are quite sharp, and as you're putting them in and out of your bag they will rip, so keep hold of them. So that's your 2 bars. You've got a section for that. You probably noticed I took my buzzer bar out of there. It does fit with your, I've got Delkins on, so it will fit with your alarms on. It's a little bit tight, but it does go in. Next over here, you've got a 4-section compartment, and you've got your bank sticks individually. They're all the same length, but they're individually in this pocket, which is a nice touch because they're not banging together. The usual problem with these type of pods with the black coating is it gets scratched off. There's a few features on this to try and help stop that. One of them is the case, just having these separate and not banging around. Okay, going back to the individual items, the base, as I showed you earlier, has got 2 flip locks. Allows you to extend the base. Now that extends quite a way, as you'll see in a minute. They're quite nice handy locks. And your buzzer bar legs go into the front and back two holes, and they're actually clamped down with this wheel. Rather than a thread piercing onto the bank stick, it's actually a clamp. So when you tighten it up, it doesn't leave any marks at all on your bank sticks, which is another plus point in trying to keep hold of that black coating on the legs. All 6 legs, you've got 4 exactly the same length, and you've got 2 longer ones. They're a twist lock design. Just take the point off. You twist the leg, extend it out, twist it back again to lock it. Twist it again, push it back in, twist it to lock it again. The 2 buzzer bars, as already mentioned, are offset. You can have it whichever way around you like. I personally want the tips at the front to be wider, purely because the runs here are so violent and the rods tend to get pulled down. Okay, so setting up the pod, we unscrew the legs so they're not tight against the base. Pick the position you want the leg in, and then tighten it back up. The actual base itself has got 4 positions you can angle those legs in. Basically undo it, spin it round, and tighten it back in the desired position. If you want to have the front high like I'm going to, all you got to do is unscrew the leg, get one of the longer legs and screw the longer leg in. Unfortunately, the longer legs won't fit back in the case while they're attached to the frame, but that's not really a massive problem. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, the buzz bars are actually attached to the base by the 2 knobs, front and back. Allows you to raise and lower to the height that you want it, either to avoid your swinging hangers, or if you've got the old style swingers, allows you to get it away from the base frame. Because it's double leg, your hanger will actually drop between that, so it doesn't clash with the base frame, which is a good point. The rear of the pod's exactly the same. You tighten, raise and lower where the reels are going, and there again, with the thumb screw at the back, you can tighten that up. And that is absolutely solid. With the double bar construction and the double buzz bars at the front and back. Bonjour. You don't get any rod twists whatsoever when you get a take. The Tri Sky can be set up in several positions, either high at the front, really high for the barbell anglers, level, or even higher at the back. The choice is yours. Okay, so one of my small gripes with this rod pod is the way that the legs adjust. At the bottom of the leg, you twist the leg, you pull it out, and you twist the lock. That locks it tight. And when you're packing up, you twist to undo, you push it back in, and you lock it up. Now the only problem I can see with this, and the problem I've had already on this holiday, is when you're fishing on an uneven bank, or if you're fishing in long grass, once you get the pod set up, it's quite difficult to alter the length of the legs. It's not impossible, it just could be made easier. If that adjustment part was at the top instead of the bottom, instead of you trying to push that down, you'd be doing that from the top, pushing the leg down. I mean, that is a minor gripe, because this pod is really that good. If you are looking for a rod pod for river fishing, for carp and barbel, or you need to get above marginal snags, or just keep the line out of the water if you're fishing a weedy lake, this potentially is the pod for you. This is the Prologic Tri Sky 3 rod pod. That's my review. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.